Severe weather could soon sweep across parts of the United States, bringing the risk of powerful tornadoes, heavy flooding, and damaging storms. Today's precipitation map shows that most of the United States is experiencing relatively quiet weather, with rainfall limited to a few specific regions. The heaviest precipitation is currently focused over northern Minnesota, where a concentrated area of moderate to heavy rain is moving through. Localized downpours are possible there, which may briefly reduce visibility and create wet road conditions. Along the southeast Atlantic coast, scattered showers and thunderstorms are affecting parts of the Carolinas and nearby coastal waters. Across the southwest, including southern Arizona and parts of New Mexico, light to moderate showers are developing, bringing brief periods of rainfall to otherwise dry areas. Tropical moisture is also producing rain across southern Florida, especially near the Gulf Coast and the Florida Peninsula, where periods of moderate rain continue. Much of the Central Plains, the Midwest, Texas, and the interior Northeast remain mostly dry today, with only isolated light showers. Overall, precipitation is not widespread across the country, but several regions are still seeing pockets of active weather. Looking ahead over the next 3 days, the greatest concern is the potential for a stronger storm system to develop across parts of the eastern and southeastern United States. If moisture continues to increase, heavy rainfall could lead to localized flash flooding, water-covered roads, and travel delays. Residents are encouraged to stay informed with local weather updates and remain prepared for changing conditions. Today's wind map shows generally light to moderate winds across much of the United States, with a few areas experiencing stronger gusts. The strongest winds are currently centered over northern Minnesota, where sustained winds are reaching around 30 miles per hour as a weather system moves through the region. These stronger winds may create reduced visibility in heavier showers and make travel slightly more difficult for high-profile vehicles. Across Florida, especially the central and southern peninsula, breezy conditions continue with winds near 30 miles per hour, producing rough surf and choppy conditions along both the Gulf and Atlantic coasts. Much of the Central Plains, including Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas, is seeing lighter winds, providing relatively calm weather. The Midwest, including Illinois and surrounding states, is also experiencing mostly gentle winds. Across the west, from California through Nevada, Utah, and Arizona, wind speeds remain light to moderate, with only isolated afternoon gusts possible in higher elevations and desert locations. The Northeast is generally calm, with only occasional coastal breezes. Overall, today's wind conditions are manageable for most areas. However, during the next 3 days, there is an increasing risk that a stronger wind pattern could develop across parts of the eastern and southeastern United States. If this system strengthens, damaging wind gusts, falling tree branches, scattered power outages, hazardous boating conditions, and difficult travel for large vehicles could become possible. Residents should continue monitoring local forecasts and remain prepared for changing weather conditions. Today's temperature map shows a comfortable to warm pattern across much of the United States, with the highest temperatures centered over the southern states. Texas remains one of the warmest regions today, with temperatures around 31 degrees Celsius in the Dallas area and 27 degrees Celsius near Houston. Florida is also experiencing warm conditions, with temperatures close to 29 degrees Celsius, while much of the Gulf Coast remains seasonably warm. Across the southeast, including Georgia and neighboring states, afternoon temperatures are generally in the mid-20s Celsius, creating pleasant but warm conditions. The Midwest is enjoying milder weather, with Chicago near 22 degrees Celsius and Minneapolis around 24 degrees Celsius. In the Northeast, temperatures are cooler, ranging from the lower to middle 20s, making for comfortable outdoor conditions. Across the western United States, higher elevations remain cool, while desert regions continue to experience warmer afternoons. Overall, today's temperatures are close to seasonal averages across most of the country, with no widespread extreme heat at this time. However, over the next 3 days, there is an increasing risk of a stronger heat pattern expanding across parts of the south and central United States. If this develops, temperatures could climb significantly higher, increasing the danger of heat exhaustion, dehydration, and heat-related illnesses. Residents should stay hydrated, avoid prolonged outdoor activity during the hottest part of the day, and continue monitoring local weather forecasts. Today's humidity map shows the highest moisture levels concentrated across the southern United States, especially along the Gulf Coast. Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida are experiencing very humid air, making conditions feel warmer and more uncomfortable than the actual temperature. Around Houston, Tampa, and nearby Gulf Coast communities, dew points are in the mid-20s Celsius, indicating tropical levels of humidity. Across the southeast, including Georgia, humidity remains high, creating sticky conditions throughout the day. In contrast, much of the Midwest, including Chicago and Minneapolis, is experiencing moderate humidity, making the air feel more comfortable despite warm afternoon temperatures. The Northeast, including Washington and New York, has relatively lower humidity, providing a less muggy atmosphere. Across the western United States, including California, Nevada, Utah, and much of the Rocky Mountain region, the air remains much drier, resulting in more pleasant conditions, even where temperatures are warm. Overall, today's highest humidity is focused across the Gulf Coast and southeastern states. However, over the next 3 days, there is an increasing risk that deep tropical moisture could spread farther inland across the south and parts of the east. If this happens, dangerous heat index values, oppressive humidity, and an increased risk of heavy thunderstorms could develop. Residents should stay hydrated, avoid prolonged outdoor activity during peak afternoon hours, and continue monitoring local weather forecasts. Today's pressure map shows a fairly balanced weather pattern across the United States, with most regions experiencing moderate atmospheric pressure. Pressure values across much of the country are generally ranging between 1,010 and 1,016 millibars, supporting relatively stable weather conditions. The highest pressure is found over parts of the Pacific Northwest, where values are near 1,016 millibars, helping maintain calmer weather. Across the Midwest, including Chicago, pressure is around 1,015 millibars, while Minneapolis is closer to 1,010 millibars, indicating a slightly more active weather pattern. The southern states, including Texas and the Gulf Coast, are under moderate pressure between 1,012 and 1,014 millibars, contributing to generally steady conditions. Along the East Coast, including Washington, New York, and surrounding areas, pressure remains close to 1012 to 1014 millibars, with no major pressure extremes at this time. Overall, today's pressure distribution suggests that much of the United States is experiencing relatively stable weather. However, over the next 3 days, there is an increasing risk that a stronger low-pressure system could organize across parts of the southeast and eastern United States. If this system deepens, it could trigger stronger winds, heavier rainfall, localized flooding, and isolated severe thunderstorms. Residents should continue monitoring local forecasts, especially across the Gulf Coast and the eastern states, as weather conditions could change rapidly if atmospheric pressure begins to fall more significantly. Thanks for watching.